I was dancing around outside, so I'm catching my breath. I was really trying to drive those dogs crazy, but it wasn't working. I was up there just like, I bet it looked stupid as hell if you were watching them across the street.
So you're just trying to get them crazy, so the owner are gonna be like, "Yo, get in!"
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I was trying to get them going nuts, but they were kind of scared of me, and they were like by the door. Yeah. Plus, I'm wearing this bright shirt, so I bet they were just like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" I'm over there just like.
It's so crazy how well you can hear them in here.
Oh yeah,
it's insane.
It's impressive. The phone really doesn't do shit for the.
No.
To the
Well,
dogs.
it's go through the door.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's like right there. Already do the intro.
Hi. What?
The intro.
Hi, this is Artist in Depth Podcast. Сегодня у нас в гостях Келси, местный фотограф, и Девлин, местный подкастер, и он нам расскажет, и она нам расскажет о своей работе, а я Артем. Все.
All right, what up, everybody? It's the Artist in Depth Podcast, back at you with our wonderful, the best special guest host, Artyom. He's been here a couple times, eating food, chewing, spitting. Was that just regular Russian?
Yeah, it was just regular Russian. It was just, and I ate food on one podcast, and since then it was just on the first one, and since then,
unfortunately, I already had dinner, so you guys don't get to hear him chew, but it's okay. His chewing's with us in spirit. All right. Today on this episode, we got Kelsey Walling with us, a Fort Worth born and raised.
I was born in Lubbock, actually, but
born in Lubbock, raised in Fort Worth, all over the place.
All over the place.
Currently residing in Galveston. Are you like the head photojournalist or just a photojournalist?
I'm a photojournalist. There's I work with this guy Stuart Villanueva.
Word.
Yeah.
Sweet. She is a photojournalist for the Galveston County Daily News out here in Galveston. And why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got started doing photography, just in general?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of something I fell into. I feel like a lot of people say that, but it's true. I remember getting a digital camera for Christmas from my grandpa when I was like 11 years old, just one of those little point and shoots, super cute. And we went, my family and I went on a vacation and on a cruise, actually. It was probably out of Galveston, if I had to guess. But we went on a trip, and I took a ton of photos. That's basically all I was doing the whole time, like 12-year-old taking photos on my little point-and-shoot camera. And I couldn't really stop doing it. It was something I just kind of was always thinking about, even, when my friends in middle school and high school would come over, I'd bring out the little camera and we'd take mirror selfies with it. Just always had it on me at all times. And and I just kind of wanted to keep doing it. And I joined yearbook in high school and did the whole yearbook thing, learning how to take photos, find people and, get their names because you took their photo at a random football game. So it's kind of funny how long I've been doing it. I guess it's been since sophomore year of high school, and I'm 24, so it's been a while doing this.
Word.
Yeah. And I didn't really have too many other interests outside of it, so I was just like, I'm just going to go to school for it, see where it goes, And that's kind of how I started.
Well, it's actually, I think it's a pretty smart way to pick a major.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of people go into college, they, like, especially nowadays, because I'm still going to classes.
Right.
And I hear, some of the kids that are in there, because, I took an introductory to film class, which, like a first semester class. There's a bunch of 18-year-olds in there. But they're always just like, I don't know. I just came here because my mom told me to. And it's like,
yeah.
I'm like, well, what do you do? You're like, I don't know what I want to do. I'm like, not what you want to do. What do you already do?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you good at? Like, if it's something you can go to school for, like, do it. You're good at sports, go on to, some type of, like, kinesiology or something, like, something.
And I think a lot of kids feel like this pressure to go to college when they don't necessarily need to or should, and I wish people didn't put so much emphasis on college because I don't know. I know a lot of people that have had to drop out and they feel bad about it. I'm like, well, you shouldn't feel bad. Like, that just wasn't your path.
It's like the stigma, people have of like you're a loser if you don't go to college.
Yeah, that's not true at all.
Well, and where I'm from, if a guy over 18, you don't go to college, you go to army. Like there is no contract, so you go to college.
It's one or the other. You better pick.
Yeah, you better go get a degree, then go do, I don't know, paint the grass green.
Do y'all have a mandatory service?
It's changed the last few years, but yes, it's mandatory. It used to be 2 years, now it's like a year, and pretty much everyone who's in the army is someone who was like not bright enough to even get to university or college.
It's a bold statement.
It is, because the army is not nice as here. You don't really get any benefits and stuff like that, so it's not like a career you want to be proud that you're in the army, or at least for the most part.
Putin's bitches.
Oh, that's a bold statement.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Well, we're gonna get way more listeners.
Right. Yes, we have many Russian robots listening to our podcast right
Save me from the Kremlin.
now. Right.
I'm Mr. Ivanov.
So, when did you start working for Galveston? Like how'd you make it down here?
It's also a funny story. I was in school at the University of Missouri, and there's like a lot of helpful like Facebook pages and job pages that you can browse, and there's job openings on there. And I saw one for Galveston, and I was not even. It was November of my senior year, so I wasn't even graduating till May. So I was like, I'm just going to apply for this job. Like, I know I won't get it because I'm not graduating anytime soon, but I like Galveston and it'd be cool to apply. So I just like did it, didn't hear anything back, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And pretty much the week after I graduated, my boss, Jennifer Reynolds, called me. She's an amazing photo editor, actually used to live at the Lofts. She called me and was like, hey, so you applied for this job back in November. We had a hiring freeze right after I put it out, and but now the job's back open. The freeze is over, and you're one of our top applicants. I was wondering if you were still interested. And I was just like, hell yeah! Like, what? That's insane! Just so crazy. And I interviewed over the phone because I was still living in Missouri, and she offered me the job, and I said okay, and packed up everything in about 3 weeks and just moved down to Galveston.
Why did you go to Missouri? There's like, is there like a good photography school? There's nothing in Texas, or
it's one of the like best journalism schools. I don't think it's like, I think Columbia is the first, but Mizzou is actually the first journalism school in ever. So,
okay, so like the oldest one.
Yeah, and I was. My dad lives in Missouri, so I was able to get that in-state tuition, and I wanted out of Texas too. I was like pretty done with Fort Worth for sure, and just the people.
Wow, it's such an exciting place to be.
I know.
Yes, there's a lot of shit talk about the about the DFW.
I know, and I'm cool with it though.
Yeah, I got a cousin that grew up in Dallas, and they got a lot of good homies, like musicians that are over there.
Yeah.
Shout out Devin Barnes, and Adrian. I don't know your last name, but his hip hop name's Sushi. He's blowing up over there.
Oh, cool.
Raw like sushi is his term. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty dope.
I think it's sushi with 2 eyes. I'm not sure. I remember how he spells it.
Yeah.
But they got they got their group out there, like a Five Side. They got a lot of rappers affiliated. Yeah. But I used to drive through all the time because I'm from Durant, Oklahoma.
Oh.
Right there where the Choctaw Casino is on the border.
I almost broke down there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not that bad.
It's not bad.
It is kind of methy. Yeah. But it's okay.
It's what you would expect.
Yeah, exactly. And then, but I was actually very anti, and a lot of people are very anti the casino, but it brought a really good economy into that place. I mean, it's the only place down there you can get like a $15 an hour job, just waiting tables or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a good spot.
Yeah, I give Fort Worth a lot of hate, but it was good growing up there. Good community, good people, but.
Yeah, world's too big, stay in one place.
Yeah, exactly.
Grow up, move out, move around. I mean, that's Artie's here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I moved a little bit.
Yeah.
Just
a couple miles.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy, though.
Yeah.
Not like an ocean or anything. But whatever.
Nothing like that.
A couple oceans. It's all right.
Yeah.
So you do besides your job? Do you also still pick up just doing photography for fun, like going out places and doing kind of some freelance stuff? Like, do you like what kind of stuff you do in that field?
I'm trying to do a lot more freelancing now, so it's been really enjoyable. I've taken a lot of senior portraits and done that kind of stuff, but I really enjoy music photography. Is really interesting to me. People that can do it well, I'm just like, it floors me because I'm definitely learning how to do it, but it's very enjoyable. Like taking photos of the bands here when I can, and it's just really fun. And musicians really, I think, appreciate having photos, and it's fun to just like give it to them, like be like, hey, thanks for letting me take photos of you while you're performing and being vulnerable on stage. I appreciate it. And so it's fun to like give them those photos and also practice that skill because it's really tough.
Yeah. Well, the lighting is weird. They're moving, they're jumping.
Yeah.
People stage dive on you. It's great.
Yeah, and you don't want to use like flash or anything, because I would just, I don't know. I'm sure you can use it tastefully, but I don't know how personally. But
yeah, getting the dark photos I always thought was kind of difficult because I don't know. I was taking those pictures of India tigers at the Loftwalk show.
Those were cool.
And those came out fun. Yeah, I was playing with the little exposure thing. I know I have like a good camera that I'm borrowing, or I was let borrow. I didn't even ask to borrow it. It was just, I was like, here. So I was just taking pictures, but Brandon let me use that crazy huge. Oh, shout out to Brandon Walker. He's been a multiple time guest on here.
Yeah.
He gave me that big. He let me use that big flash he's got and playing with the exposure and all the. Came out really cool. I was like, I didn't know I could do that.
Yeah, it's super cool.
But yeah, just the music shots, the action, because are really hard for me. I'm trying to figure out because also going to the skateboarding events, like the downhill longboarding and shit we do, like we're going fast as hell. Like getting that right picture for that blows me away.
Right. And
Shutter speed.
There's so many different ways you can shoot it too, because you can make it look beautiful when it is a full blur. There is like a way to make it look, like a beautiful photograph. And then when you get that stop motion, it's also really powerful in a different way. So there's so many different ways you can shoot stuff like that, and it's really fun to experiment. There was a skate bash that Liaison Lemons threw early January. I don't remember what the date was, so shout outs to him. And I just went over there and brought my camera and was able to take photos of people skateboarding and having such a fun time, and it was cool. I put them on their Facebook and was actually able to get it in the paper too. So like when that can happen and I can use my free time to give like the community, I don't know, just something nice for them to have to keep forever. It's really rewarding. So I try to do it as much as I can. Yeah. Freelancing and.
But as far as your job, you take pictures, but also you writing article to the picture, or you just someone writes an article and you add a picture to the article? Are you like a journalist or?
Yeah, I mean, I've written a lot of different stories. I usually write stuff that I'm able to work on long term. I don't really write the daily stories. So most of the photographs I take go with stories that are being written by reporters. But there are some times where I get to write and set up the whole thing, and make it my own, which is nice. But it is also nice being able to shoot those daily stories for reporters because they do a lot of the legwork and are able to catch me up on stuff. And when I have multiple assignments in a day, it's really nice to have that background already done. So, and they're always writing different stuff too, which is really cool. You get to do a lot of different stuff every day. It's nice.
And you don't really have like an assignment. You just do whatever, like in the sport events, because you pretty much need to be good in any type of photography. Or
yeah, I mean, I have to be good at sports photography, because I'm basically doing that every week. It's soccer and softball and baseball season right now, so I have to brush up on those skills again because I haven't shot it since last spring. So getting used to the game again, kind of relearning the coaches and familiarizing yourself with the rules. You have to, do some research before you go shoot a sporting event. You have to work at it. So I do that. Most of my assignments are news assignments, though, whether it be for a feature or, breaking news or a planned event. So Mardi Gras was basically just shooting Mardi Gras. you know, we each get a Saturday that we have to shoot, and it's just parades after parades. And then at the same time, there was basketball playoffs, so also shooting basketball playoffs all nights. So it's a lot of different stuff. It's really cool.
Do you have like a whole thing like there's more experienced photographers get on the front page, or how does it work?
No, that's a fair question. We both just kind of share stories. There's not really a rhyme or reason for it. If he gets the front page assignment, then he gets it, and if I get it, you know, it just kind of what best works for each of our schedules that day. So today, I'm trying to think of what the front page story is today. It's League City had their State of the City address, which is kind of funny. They just talk about all the stuff that they were awesome at the year before, all the stuff they got done. And it's this huge kind of like, I don't know, it's very schmoozy. People come like all dressed up and they eat lunch and stuff, but they get an update on the city and what their plans are for this coming year. So I went to that today because I had the day shift, and that'll be front page tomorrow. And, you know, just like random events like that, you know. And things change too. So if some breaking story came out today, then that would get front, and mine would probably get pushed inside or something like that.
Do you get like midnight? You need to go there now, or you just
all the time. I'll be like about to eat dinner, and I get a call like, "Hey, there was a triple homicide. Can you go out and shoot the crime scene?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I'll do it." Yeah, and go out. Yeah, it's insane.
Gnarly.
That actually happened a few weeks ago. There was a triple homicide in Texas City, and I'm just like, well, I was about to eat dinner, but that's okay. And it's really emotional too, because you really don't want to go to that sort of situation, but
I mean, you don't have to
you might not want to eat dinner after that. Like, depending what.
Well, you don't have to like go do like crime scene.
No,
Okay.
like you're outside of it, but just being there is like
just the air, the energy there is
feel
weird.
the energy, yeah.
Oh,
and
can't even imagine.
Yeah, it gets rough sometimes. I mean, I've had to be in like some really horrible situations, like when Harvey hit.
Oh,
yeah, that was like, and that was 3 weeks after I started, and I had never been in a hurricane before either, so your girl was not prepared for that.
Did they put you like out there in the shit?
Yeah, I had to go up to Dickinson where it was like flooded up to the rooftops, and
You're just on a boat, like.
Yeah, so me and a coworker, this reporter Marissa Barnett, shout out Marissa Barnett, PIO for the city now. We took the work truck up 45 until we couldn't drive anymore, and they were just launching boats from there.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
And I was like, hey Marissa, I gotta go, this boat's letting me on. And she's like, yeah, go. And so I just like hop on this boat. I'm soaking wet because I don't have any rain clothes at all. So I'm just
what kind of protective gear do you bring for your camera for that?
Well, for that, like, it was so last minute. I had trash bags, and then on top of the trash bags I had like these plastic saran wrap type bags, and they got ruined basically immediately because it was raining so hard. So I didn't really have any protection other than like under my jacket when I wasn't shooting. So I'd like put it under my jacket, and I also had I think I might have had two bodies too, like two camera bodies on me. So I had like two cameras that I was like kind of going in between, and it's really hard to keep stuff protected though. Like even with proper rain gear, it's like just the rain here is so much, like it's insane.
I remember for Harvey, it just like wasn't stopping.
No, it did not let up, and you're getting soaking wet and you can't see anything, and then your lens fogs up, so you have to take care of that, and it's just it's nightmarish, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just on this boat with these two guys who were incredible people, and they just like went out. They're like, we have to save our friends. We'll pick up anyone on our way, and they were like just riding this boat in this neighborhood, and you just see rooftops and people sitting out there like, hey, we have a ride coming. Don't worry about us. Like, go get those people down there though. They need a ride. And yeah, and people, it's so crazy how stable people can be in that kind of situation, because I was stable, and in most situations I would not be stable, but I was fine because I was like, I just got to do my job. And then the people around me were like, okay, our house is flooded, but we just got to get to safety. Like, that's the only thing on their minds. The emotion hasn't really set in. So people are like really calm and okay, but when you see everything around you, it's like, what the fuck is happening? Like,
That's Texas though.
yeah.
Hard.
Yeah, I worked
Yeah.
that area. It was my job. So I was there after, and it's just like there's just no like neighborhoods till the roof, and
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, well, we're rebuilding. There's still like they're just empty houses right now.
Mm.
It's still like some people just never came back. Then maybe didn't have insurance, didn't have money.
Yeah.
Was like, screw this, we're moving somewhere else, taking all the money and going somewhere else. So there's
Whack.
Yeah, and in that situation, you have to when you're taking photos, you have this like big ass camera in front of these people's faces. It's like you have to have this sort of empathy, but also be kind of distant because you don't want to interrupt what they're going through. But at the same time, you don't want to be disrespectful. So it's this really interesting like balancing act. But during Harvey, like people were just like, they were okay. They were like, they just wanted someone to talk to. Like, and I remember being in this boat with these people, and she's like, I'm just so afraid that we're gonna die and all this stuff. I'm like, you're not gonna die. Like, I promise you that you are not gonna die. We see land over there. You're gonna be okay. Your house, you know, is probably fucked, but you're gonna be okay. You're not gonna
it's
die.
about you, not your house,
Yeah. I'm
you
like,
know?
don't like, and so you have to be there for people, but also, I don't know, let them have their moments. It's hard. It's hard to stay out of the way sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's crazy. I was noticing because I think one of the papers was in the deli. Because you're talking about all these projects to send you on, but I was looking through the paper. You take like the majority of the pictures in that entire thing.
You
Like,
think so?
Well, I guess maybe the edition I
Yeah,
had, but
maybe
I was
so.
just scrolling through, and every single one of them had your name on it. I was like, geez, I was like, she the only photographer for the
well,
paper?
it was a
Yeah.
slow night. They let her
Yeah.
take.
We also shoot for Coast Magazine, so a lot of the times Stuart might have like 3 Coast shoots in a day, and I'll have like 3 news shoots in a day. So I end up being in the paper where he doesn't, you know. So and it's vice versa. So sometimes I have all these magazine shoots, and then he'll get the news. So that might be that situation.
It's like alternate.
Yeah.
Oh, so you were talking about with the. So would you consider the Harvey being like the craziest assignment you've been on? Or is there something been gnarlier than that?
I mean, Harvey was definitely the most physically and emotionally draining, and like the most challenging as like a photojournalist.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's also the time where I kind of like was able to shine a lot because I knew the situation was so intense that I was able to make like good images in a really like tough, stressful situation. So I think it is probably the gnarliest situation I've been in, with a close second being like the Santa Fe shooting, because that's in the county, so to cover that too.
You had to cover the school shooting.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was the worst day ever for sure, because I wasn't even supposed to work that day, and my boss calls me and she's like, "Hey, school shooting, Santa Fe, can you go to the hospital?" And I was like, "Yep." And yeah, it was. So I didn't get the brunt of the emotion. I think if I had to go to the school, I would have been.
It was a lot
been
of
a fucking
commotion.
wreck.
There's a friend of ours. I don't know if he like wants to be fully mentioned for this, so I just won't say who it is. But a friend of ours that works at the bar, her husband's a cop, and he had to like go there. He was one of the sheriffs like first on that had to, as soon as they for sure got the kid, you know, the assailant, they had to like go through and account for all the things that happened in there, and like it was. I'm like,
Yeah, I talked to him. I mean, I talked to her, and it's like had trouble sleeping because I mean, yeah, they have a kid and everything. Because I mean, imagine.
It's awful. I was there the other day to shoot a baseball game, and there were these kids practicing at the tennis courts, and there was a track meet going on, and they had like a pistol for the track meet. Pistol went off. The kids on the tennis court were like, and then they're like, "Oh, I always do that." I heard them say that. That like fucking destroyed me. I was just like, "Oh my god!" Like these kids are gonna live with this for the rest of their lives.
yeah, that's what it's turned into. It's also, I mean, because when I was growing up, like in Oklahoma, I used to love 4th of July for like fireworks and stuff. I used to love it. I used to be stoked. Nowadays, you can't even fire something off without someone thinking someone's getting shot. Because, you know, if you listen to enough fireworks and you've like shot guns, you can hear the difference. Like, it's totally different. It's like, you know when it was a gun. you know, but yeah, like nowadays, throw some black cats outside. People are hitting the floor, locking their kids in the closet and stuff. You know what I mean? You know, like all kinds of stuff. Like people freak out. You know, it's like it's kind of like instilling this kind of crazy PTSD for everybody. You know, like a small amount. You know, where it's just like.
I mean, and considering how many shootings were in this past years, it's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
So
like
horrible.
we have trainings to run away because we might have an earthquake. Over here, they have trainings to what to do if there's a school shooting, which is ridiculous for me to.
It's crazy.
Well, let's not get on this topic on what's the gun control things and everything, but it just for me being from other part of the world that actually we have guns that are like legalized. There's no school shootings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, you never know, but at least you know, I mean, that's what it comes with. No matter, just for people listening that are working on things, you know, whatever your art form is, you know, there's two sides of it. You know, there's jobs you want to do and there's jobs you don't want to do.
Exactly. Yeah, and you have to take the bad with the good and the good with the bad. I mean, and then in that situation, it's hard to separate as well. It's like you still want to like perform well and take good photos, but you also don't want to be, you know, disrespectful. And it's it's hard to know which way to lean, especially in that situation. I had a really hard time with it because I felt like I would get really emotional and I would start making bad pictures. But then when I wasn't emotional, people were really harsh with me, and it was like...
I mean, I would assume they'd be like, why are you taking pictures?
Exactly,
Let's leave us alone. Do you ever have like a confrontation, someone like being like, didn't fight with you or like kick you out because you're taking pictures of like why you're here?
Oh, I mean, yeah, all the time. A lot of the times they just need better explanations of what I'm doing because a lot of them are just very untrustworthy of the media, which is hard to deal with. But a lot of people just need me to explain more. But I was supposed to take photos of this male person delivering mail in Hitchcock for some reason for a story. And she was like furious that I was there. She's like, I didn't like say that you could take photos of me. And I'm like, ma'am, like I don't have to take photos of you, but like I'm going to take photos of your truck because I need a photo for the story. And the truck is on the street, which is totally fine. I can take a photo of it. And she's like, no, I'm going to tell like my boss and all this stuff. And she got so angry with me that I was just like, all right, I'm not going to fuck with this. I'm just going to do this another day.
Take a picture of a random truck.
Yeah, so people can get very testy, and you have to know how to talk to different people. I think it's I don't know. It's important to be able to decipher how people are going to take you. Like you learn how to read people and how to talk to them. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was it like a part of your, like, did you have it at a university or a college? Like, do you have like a psychology class or something the way you like communication class with the, because I mean, photojournalism, I guess.
We weren't really required to take psychology. Do have a psychology degree though, because I thought I wasn't going to make it as a photographer. So I got that psych degree. I was like, I need that backup. So I've learned a lot about people because I was able to get that psych degree. But we also take the journalism classes at Mizzou were really intensive and put you in the field. So I had to take a whole class where I was a staff photographer for the Columbia Missourian newspaper. So I was a staffer while taking classes. I worked like 12 hours a week on that, on top of having like a normal job too. So they put you in the field, they make you learn how to talk to people because like, I mean, the first day of staff photography at Mizzou, I was so scared because you have to take photos of people and then go up and talk to them. Like, oh, that's like such a nightmare. But you get used to it and you learn how to talk to people over experience. It gets easier once you do it over and over again. Yeah.
Well, I don't think a lot of people know. I mean, when it comes to photography, that, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. You know, like there's just like there is a lot of other art mediums. Like there's a feeling of emotion in it. Sometimes it's kind of intrusive. Sometimes, you know, it's controversial. It's like there's a lot that goes into it. It's not just taking pictures. I've heard a lot of people say that word.
Oh yeah. Exactly.
Where they're like, oh, I could do that. It's just taking pictures. It's like, well, once you understand what goes into it, it's taking pictures. But still, then, you know, it's like something you have to curate. You know, you're capturing moments of time. You know, it has to be captured correctly, especially if you're trying to portray the message you're trying to play. You know.
Yeah.
So a lot of people use pictures to, you know, like falsify things and make it look like it's something that it's not. And, you know, so there's you know, there's a whole bunch of sides to it. It's pretty impressive.
Did you ever falsify any news? Like, oh no.
Guilty of fake news?
Yeah.
Nah.
Hashtag fake news.
Hell no. No such thing. No. There is such thing as fake news, but no, I don't do that. I try to make my art as honest as possible, which proves to be difficult because people see you and they look at you and they see your camera and they're aware of you. So it's learning how to be like this mysterious person in a corner that's not seen but still captures the moment, you know. And I want every photo I take, I want every photo that someone looks at of mine and they just like know that this moment is real and the emotion in it is real. That's like what I strive for, because, you know, when you get those photos that are just so beautiful and there's this interaction that happens in the photo and you can just see the love between two people's eyes, whether it be like friendship, family, whatever it is, like, oh, those are just so powerful to me and I want to like make those images all the time. So that's what, you know, that's what I strive for. You know, and newspaper provides that for me a lot. You know, I can, you know, be in situations where those moments happen. I'm very lucky to have a job like that.
And you guys get to meet all kinds of people too. I'm sure that's cool.
So many people.
Yeah.
So many people.
Well, it's cool to be in that kind of position you are, I think, just because, like, in the sense of meeting people, because, you know, we also see, you know, like, we see faces, we don't see people, you know, so whenever you meet more people and get to know their stories, because everyone around you has their own story going on, you know, a lot of people, like, even driving on the highway are like, oh, look at all these fuckers, these guys drive away, but it's like, everybody in that car has their own story, they got their own day going on, some of them just pick their kid up, some guy's going through a divorce and he's sad, like somebody's doing something, you know, everybody's got their own stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I think having the kind of job you have, like having to, you know, you're kind of like the animator of the situation, you know, there's the people that write the stories or reporters, but you're going there to like animate the picture and get the pictures that tell the story they're creating.
I like that.
Yeah. That's the way I picked up on it immediately, is like, you know, just being like cartoonist, like I like, you know, I've had to draw along to some things people have wrote. So that's how I totally see it. Like you're there having to animate their story. Yeah. You know, so but through that, you know, even though you're not writing the story, you get to just listen to all the stories because you're trying to paint that picture, you know. So that's really cool.
Thank you. I feel very lucky and very grateful for just being able to have a job, because there's so many people that are just as talented, if not more talented than me, that just like can't find a job in the industry because it is dying. It's dying, and it's really sad. Because I think journalism is so important. It's like, it's the fourth like corner of our government. I don't know. It's something that I think we'll always need. So it really depresses me that it is like becoming not obsolete, but just not as
Well, I don't think the journalists done just like the paper print.
Yeah, I mean, I mostly mean like local journalism. Like, I feel like national news and stuff like that's gonna be around for a long time. I don't think that's going anywhere. But as far as like local news and local papers and media outlets, you know, it's so hard for people to keep those alive. We're very lucky here because we have a lot of, support for the daily news, and it's nice. And we're under a really good company as well, Southern Newspapers Inc. Shout out. But so we're lucky, but there's so many people that aren't, and so many talented people that get laid off every day in the industry just because they're losing money. It sucks.
Yeah, well, especially now since a lot of people get news on their phones. You know, like a lot of people that don't sign up for newspapers. You know, if your news source doesn't have an electronic way of receiving news, I mean, you're out. Right. At this point, you know. Right. I mean, and that's what was happening kind of to the papers that were going on in my hometown in Oklahoma. You know, it's like, you got to get with it. You know, for a while, they was like, no, you know, we got the paper, we'll be fine. But I'm like, man, you got to get with it, because, you know, the more companies that get on it, the less, you know, as soon as that minority jumps and then they become the majority, I mean, that's it. Right,
exactly. Which Texas City is so cute. They used to have like a really, you know, pretty good paper. I'm not sure if it was a daily or not, but they weren't able to keep it up, and but they still have the Texas City Post, which comes out once a week. You know, they were able to scale it back, and they don't. I don't know if these people get paid or not. I don't really know their situation, but it's just cool that they're able to keep it up in some capacity. So the people of Texas City can get their little news, once a week. And so it's nice when that can happen, but it sucks because they were able to have a paper, in the past. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the, it's hard to,
Well,
again, the internet,
Well, the whole thing about it's Galveston County news, so there's way more people who can deliver the paper than just Texas City because it's way too niche. I'm not sure how much happens in Texas City, but there's no problem worth a newspaper.
I think they kind of just reported on Lamarck and that kind of side of the area, but yeah, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, man. Well, how far out does Galveston County go? That's League City, Texas City?
League City.
Dickinson and Freeport, I think, is still Galveston County.
Freeport isn't. It goes Galveston County is out into Santa Fe and then out into League City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, League City. I think all of League City is in Galveston County.
No, I think it's already Harris. I would think
Webster's and Harris, but not League City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's right before.
Yeah. Yeah, so League City's interesting. It's so vanilla. I love it.
Yeah.
It's just boring. It's exactly what you would imagine a suburb to be.
This is where I work every day, and I had a conversation with a lady. She's like, I love Galveston. There's nothing to do here. She's 65. I was like, well, what do you do? She's like, well, go to theater. And there's no theaters. And they're so expensive. You have opera. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. It's a funny place.
Well, there's part of the show where I like to ask the artist that's on that's the guest about just for our listeners. So one of my big I forgot to give you a culture form. I've been forgetting to give everybody culture forms. I'll have a paper for you to sign.
Oh, okay.
But one of the biggest things of the podcast, I like for the artist to or the listeners to maybe gain some inspiration to stay along their path. Mm-hmm. I'm sure throughout your career as an artist, you've had your ups and downs with it, been fighting it, maybe even at one point, maybe you didn't even want to do it, what could you say to maybe an aspiring photographer or photojournalist or whatever they want to do in that field? Well, if you had something to say to keep them on their path, what would that be?
Yeah, I've definitely been in that situation where I'm like, well, I'm not doing this anymore. And it's really easy to compare yourself to other people and to other photographers. But honestly, I think the best thing I can say is use your envy and use your desires as your muse and use that as your motivation to just keep going out there and just doing it. You just got to get out there and do that. But the way you do it is that you take photos of what you like first. Get really, really good at doing the things you like and taking photos of it, because that's going to restart your passion. You're going to realize why you were doing it because, I don't know, for music, I really like music. So when I'm feeling down, I just try to go out and take photos of bands and try to, get that going again, get that passion going again. But yeah, it's really easy to lose motivation, but I just would say to use other people as inspiration, maybe model your photos after people's, see if you can do it. Get techniques down, just play around and be okay with making bad pictures because you're going to keep making bad pictures. I make bad pictures every single day, but I'm still able to make good ones too. So be okay with your bad pictures because they help get you to where you need to be.
Especially right now with all the technology, it's really easy to take thousands of pictures that choose one.
Yeah, exactly. Just delete it.
Have you ever shot film? Have you play with?
Yeah, film's fun. I've never been in a dark room or anything, but I've shot film, and it's so hard because you can't look at your photo. You're like, oh, man, that was probably really bad. But that's also really good practice because you can, start working with exposures.
You'll, appreciate every shot.
Right, yeah.
So you're not just, go.
Man, I've noticed that from the film class I'm in right now. I didn't, because now, after even just being in it for a couple months, I see just watching regular movies now, you start breaking them down. You just look at it and you're just seeing how they do it. And then to the point where sometimes I lose track of the story. Where I'm just I'm just watching because it's kind of cool. Because I knew a lot went into it, but I didn't know the specifics. And it's wow.
It's beautiful to watch.
Yeah.
It really is.
A lot goes into that, because a lot of people wonder, why you know, there's like so many people at the end of the movie, like the credits, you know, where it's just like, man, it takes a lot of people to make this shit happen. Like, you know, that's why the budgets are, you know, minimum a couple 100,000 or something, because you got to pay everybody.
For like $3 million, you just take a film. It's also, I was listening to one other, like, shout out Daniel P. Carter from BBC Radio 1. he had a podcast with Randy Bly from Lamb of God.
That's kind of dope.
And he is like lake photographer, so he had like his like photo thing in Boston Lake.
Randy Blythe?
Yeah, and he actually said that he wants to be like remembered not for his music but for his photography, because photography is something more. And he actually said like the way the photographer, what you would said like right now to the class, you look movies and you see how they shot everything. He said I constantly, he's like, I'm even looking at you right now and I see like different lines, how what line, like the frame, the picture, like this way. I constantly see this. It's like everywhere I go, I see a picture, and it's like I can.
That's how it is. It's like once you're doing it every day, it's all you can think about. You see something, you're like, man, I wish I had my camera, or like, I wish I could move this person over here just to slap, like, you know, and be like.
Well, I mean, now with all the phones, there's phones taking amazing pictures.
Right. Yeah, I have a good camera phone. But
man, we actually picking up a cricket from outside. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, is that what that is?
Yeah, it is nighttime, everyone.
That's crazy.
Where we are at.
Is it really? Yeah.
It's something.
Yeah. Hi, cricket.
Straight up.
We have a special guest on tonight's podcast.
Yes. Oh yes, cricket. How are you doing? Jiminy.
Yeah, I hang out with dogs and cats.
Dax. That's super funny.
Jeremy, the cricket.
Oh, so where could we? Where do you have any kind of social media or website like just for your?
I do.
Just for your photos. Where could people find some of your photos at?
Well, yeah, you can look at a lot of my work at kelseywalling.com. So
How do you spell that?
KELSEYWALLING.com. And that's a lot of my stories, stuff, my long form stuff that I've done. There's sports and editorial in there, and a lot of different stuff. Also have like a little blog thing that I haven't posted in a long time, but it's there. And then my Instagram, I post frequently. It's Kelsey Walling Photo, so spelled the same way, photo.
Word.
Give me a follow if you want.
Oh yeah.
Being very appreciative.
Everybody go follow. Catch up on some get caught up on some Galveston events.
Oh yeah, and also if you are interested, you can follow our newspaper Instagram. That way you don't have to get that subscription. And I post on there. I try to post daily, just kind of like a picture that kind of sums up the day's news. And that's Galv News, GALV News. So if you want to give that a follow on Instagram, I would love you. So
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been cool having you on.
It's been cool being here.
Yeah, appreciate you coming through.
Thank you.
It's a lot of fun having the local Galveston artists out here. I think needs to be voiced a little more. Galveston's a gold mine of artists.
It is.
For those that haven't been to Galveston, Texas, I know we got a couple listeners to California. Shout out to y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Please reach out to me and let me know who you are at Artists in Depth. That'd be really cool. I'm just wondering who. Yeah, man, I got a couple California listeners, man, on every episode. It's really interesting.
That's great.
I just want to know who they are.
What's up, California?
We're so far away. I've never even been to California. I'm skating for so long. I've never been to California.
Really?
Never, bro.
I've been like twice.
Yeah.
Go again.
Been to Florida like 3 times and never been to California.
I've never been to Florida.
Like, I haven't been like West Coast at all. I think the most west I've been is like New Mexico, Colorado. That's it. So, well, I mean, I guess when I was a kid, I went to Nevada, but I don't count that. Like,
I mean, if you can't remember it, can you?
I really don't remember it
I
that
think
much,
you
yeah.
can't count it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like, I knew we were there, but I just can't really recollect. But
right.
Anyway.
Oh, all the future roommates are in the room. Just realized.
Yes. Oh, shout out Stephanie Bass,
Yes.
the wonderful, the chef.
Chef Steph.
Chef Steph. Steph, you want to say what's up?
Hail.
Hail. Yeah. Yes, she's wonderful. Yeah, be watching out for her episode with her good friend Emily. How do you pronounce her name?
Emily Buckaloo.
Buckaloo.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Emily is the head pastry chef over here at Vargas Cut and Catch out here in Galveston. Very nice restaurant owned by Paco. of Rudy and Paco's, another very prestigious restaurant down there. And them together are very fantastic dessert makers. We got a whole episode coming on about that. It's going to be awesome. The art of desserting. Yeah. Speaking of artistic, tasty things, Artie, do you have a sign-off?
I do. Take pictures. And no, it's going to be inappropriate. So
take pictures, they what?
Take pictures.
Just take pictures.
It's like, take pictures of what you like. Just take shit ton of selfies.
Don't
that's all
stop taking pictures.
Yeah, just stop.
Don't
Take
ever
pictures of what
stop.
you like. So that's why Kelsey probably had like thousands of selfies.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Don't go through my phone. That's embarrassing.
You got to practice. Keep practicing, y'all.
Yeah.
All right. Artists in Depth Podcast, y'all. Be sure to like and subscribe. And comment. Give us 5 stars if you'd like to hear Artie's voice some more. Let me know. You're famous now.
Like, people come up to me. I was like, yeah, I was there.
Yeah.
It's me.
He's been here. All right, y'all. Well, keep striving. Be the best artist you can be. Don't give up. Take a break, but make sure to pick it back up. Keep going, y'all. And we will see y'all next time.
And comparison is the death of enjoying of your art. Never compare your art to someone. You can learn from it, but never compare.
Very well.
That's why Instagram sucks. You're like, oh, I had such a great day. Oh, such a great picture. And you're so like, God damn it, he's even
You're
better.
describing my brain.
Yeah, so never get caught in this.
Never compare yourself to
Yeah.
something you see online.
Yes.
Yeah, because
You are unique in your own way, and that's the way it should be. Own that. Don't own somebody else's shit because it's not yours.
Be
thank you,
honest.
David. Thank you, David.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Be out. You've been listening to the Artists in Depth podcast, motivating creative minds through artistic exploration. If you like what you're hearing, please be sure to give us a rating or a positive review. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can email us at vonpatrickarts@gmail.com. That is VONPATRICK@gmail.com. Thank you very much, and we look forward to talking to you.